not your everyday competition.
Frustrating content! Oh my God! Oh God! Not like this!
What up, Twitch rivals? Happy weekend for everyone joining us. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to spend with us in Survival Cup 3. And I'll tell you what, you made a good choice because the action is only heating up from here. We've had 4 days of competition and we've eliminated over 100 players. We are now down to our final 50. And of course, the last player standing tomorrow will receive $100,000. The stakes could not be higher. We're so excited to have you with us. My name is Rain Day. I've been hosting this show alongside my 2 compatriots who've done phenomenally well. And again, I'm sure we'll have more fireworks that they'll be calling the action for. Jojo, Solos, and Tokata. Jojo yesterday gave us what we were looking for, the big day where they set the stage for right now, 50 players left. But it feels like what was a marathon over these last 4 days is now turned into a sprint.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we had 70 players get eliminated in one day, which was both a tragedy and I'm sure a lot of people felt a little bit excited. Of course, these final 50 players are starting to feel the heat, but at the same time, they're realizing they're near the finish line. They can actually see it. But will they make it is the question.
It's the grand question, right? It was definitely terrifying to see 70 players go down from over 100 to just 50 players remaining. It's not a exciting place for a lot of the streamers that were competing yesterday, but also on the contrary, all the people that made it, they got to be happier than ever.
2 sides to every coin, and the big question in our production Discord as well, I'm sure as the fan, is Tokata, where's the red-orange mix-up that we all planned today? You just went off script, man.
I think you maybe forgot to add me to the group chat, or
I
don't know.
Jojo, did that happen again?
You know, kind of happened there, but it's okay. You know, I get it. It's fine. I see how it is.
You know, let's move on to the format. That's getting a little awkward here. As you know, we've had a lot of fun over 4 days. Our 5th day will run just like it has, except of course we'll be eliminating players and getting set up for our final day on Sunday. 49 remaining players are left out of the 200 that started this, Jojo. So those eliminations, 151 players, now only 49 to go through our 2 mini games today.
That is absolutely right. Each day we get those 2 games per day. So of course we're going to be seeing 2 games and players progressively get eliminated as we go. So we may be starting with 49, but by the end of the day, we are not going to be at that point. And then of course, tomorrow we're going to have a final game, which will be a head-to-head match for the grand prize of $100,000. Of course, this only goes to the last player standing. So everyone who's here right now is staring at each other, wondering who is going to be taking that home. And of course, here we are looking at some of the players. Tokata, I mean, you have been calling out Shadun, but who else is sort of on your radar of potentially reaching that finish line?
Look, there's only a handful of players on this screen. So many have been eliminated. And look, number 40 in the previous page, Luzu, I think he has very good odds. I said it yesterday. He's kind of that silent but deadly type of player. In Survival Cup 1, he got extremely close to taking home that prize, but he was betrayed by his ally, Ollie Gamers. But if you look at number 66, Ollie Gamers is crossed out. So, you know, maybe this time around, it's going to go his way. Rain, who are you looking at?
Well, we talked to Menos Trece yesterday, and he made it through what was, I think, the hardest day by far, eliminating 70 players in that single day. You have to say that's great teamwork, a little bit of luck as well, but the patience and the awareness of who he needed to group up with certainly turned into his favor. And that was something that teams like Hannah Rose, like Purple, like Foolish, they did not get that decision right because they had that entire roster go into Team 10 and they all went down at the same time. And so none of them now representing with a chance to move forward. And that's the difficulty, Jojo. But it's also for those who are alive, maybe the success that's happened beneath the scenes. Which team did we partner up with? Who did I decide was going to be the right squad to kind of bank on this final minigame, which they knew would probably eliminate a lot of them? That was what Menos Trece did very, very well. And also big shout outs to Shadun for making that comeback against Ollie Gamers' team and finally doing what he thought was the hardest thing to do, which is beat the best team compiled in that tug of rope game.
Yeah, you know, I think about it, and I don't really think Hannah's team really did anything wrong. Of course, it just came down to the fact that they went against a team that was simply better. It's just one of those cases where they were a strong team and they got bested ever so slightly, which breaks my heart. But of course, it's what has to happen in Survival Cup. That is the name of the game. We saw it already happen once and or actually twice in Survival Cup 1 and 2. So now we're on Survival Cup 3. We get to see all the drama unfold as we go through these days.
Yeah,
It's gonna be exciting, Rain. I'm trying to think here. My kind of prediction, seeing that we have 50 players, but there's still 2 days. That's a lot of players. Seeing that tomorrow our champion's gonna be crowned, so
Yeah.
I don't think after today it's gonna be a calming day per se.
No, and that's why shifting to that sprint mentality, you're finally at the end of the race. Starting a marathon, I've never run one, but I can imagine. Difficult to think of the finish line right when you begin, knowing how long it's going to take, whether it's 3 to sometimes 8, sometimes even longer in terms of hours that you're going to be running. But when you get to that 7th hour out of 8, you start to realize you're right around the corner. And that changes the way that you pace things, Tokata. It's not something that you now can kind of take for granted that you'll finish. You know you're going to finish. So it's about how do I start kind of using my final bits of fuel, my final little moments that might make the difference. And that's where hopefully we see people say, okay, I knew I had to make a risk. It's day 5. I think maybe today is the time that I'm willing to turn on one of my alliance members, or willing to do something a little bit more desperate in order to really get ahead of the rest of the competition.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jojo were talking about it earlier. It's basically that situation where if you don't want to kind of betray your alliance you might have, it might be time to say, okay, we've done a good job. We've passed a lot of team mini games to lead up to this point, but we can go our separate ways now. It's everybody for themselves. Whatever happens, happens. Or you can do the opposite route and, keep playing as an alliance, just knowing that at any moment the betrayal could come.
Yeah, and I want to add on to that we've reached this point. We're going on to episode 5. Everyone has their own storylines, so I'm curious to see how that's going to unfold for some players, whether they're going to stick to their alliance until day 6 if they happen to make it that far, or if they're going to start betraying now. I don't know, but the drama is building up. I feel like I sense it just from knowing the fact that all these players are hopping online right now. They woke up today thinking this might be the most important day of this competition.
Certainly. I think if you get past today, and unlike yesterday where, there was a big cutoff, but you knew if you get past it, you're past the majority. Now you're in that small section, but there's still 49 players. But if you get past today, you can't be thinking that you'll have more than 25 players in tomorrow. You can't be thinking it's going to be more than that. So if you're in that final 25 and I got 2 games, and maybe if it's a 1v1 for our final game, it's just really one more game I have to survive. That really means that today is where the stakes are. And it's so exciting to be able to watch these players. And you can't, Jojo, however, forget that every player who's here is earned it. It's not like there's a weak link now, because it's not easy to have made it this far. So there's no one you can really kind of look to isolate, because everyone at this point has proven that they could win this.
Oh, absolutely. That's the scariest part, I think, for everyone, because I'm sure a lot of players are starting to feel like, okay, who am I going to target if it comes down to being a game of PvP or something along those lines? But everyone around you is highly skilled. They made it here for a reason. Yeah. And I'm sure everyone's starting to feel that sort of pressure, because there's not really a weak link to look at this point. It just comes down to besting them in whatever is going to happen today.
Yeah, those were the moments though where alliances can kind of maybe pay off. If it is that type of free-for-all, you'll have kind of groups of players, but as the free-for-all comes to a close, they will have to go up against each other. So we always get those exciting emotional moments. But you said it yourself, Jojo, it's going to be highly experienced Minecraft players in these final game modes. So have they been practicing their PvP? Will it even end in a 1v1 similar to the previous survival cups? We can only make assumptions at this point because nothing is confirmed.
Yeah, one of the interesting parts about the assumptions, and I just go back to the story with Hannah because she was a big part of our broadcast up until their team lost yesterday in the group tug of war, but she was making correct assumptions about the game up until that tug of war game. In fact, she kind of thought it would be a little bit different. I think she overthought it, and it looked like it would have been tug of war, but she kind of theorized it might be something else. Maybe one of the reasons why, you know, you can get a little bit ahead of yourself in this game. And so looking at today, we did see the end cinematic yesterday, and it looked like there were fishing rods, and there was also the symbol on the wall that was a fishing rod. We don't know anything else besides that. But Jojo, do you have to be a little bit careful as well with your alliances of kind of grouping up based on over predicting and kind of, you know, maybe assuming that you know more than you do? Because that could be, you know, treacherous too.
Yeah, see, that's the problem, right? Because Hannah did guess it right on the money one of the days. So keeping that momentum, it's kind of hard to sort of stop yourself and being like, oh, well, I got it wrong or got it right once. Surely I won't get the next one wrong. But even someone like Menos 13, who we talked to yesterday in yesterday's interview, they were actually able to sort of guess even how big of a team size they were going to go into the next game. So everyone's looking at it a little bit differently. It comes down to looking at it surface level and then looking at it a little bit more in depth. We know that Hannah was thinking it would be something else because she looked at the controls that are in Minecraft and sort of realized that there's bonus controls that aren't typically there. So maybe we're going to be seeing something like that today. It's really going to come down to these players really trying to dig into those icons and into the cinematics that we've previously seen to make those assumptions.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. You were talking about kind of looking at the bonus controls. There was even some players I remember in the Lucky Coin minigame who were using the third-person camera, changing the FOV to try and see if they could maybe look under the boat and see if they could find any clues to potentially what that minigame could be. So it does show that players that have been playing Minecraft for quite a while might have a bit of advantages in maybe guessing what's to come, but ultimately it's been very difficult to get that perfect exact answer. I think the only person that has done it was Hannah when she guessed kind of that prop hunt hide and seek mini game, but still there's always those little factors to these mini games that make it different.
Well, I love getting to reference these interviews and conversations we've had with our players because they give us insights into the game and what it's like to be playing with $100,000 on the line under the duress of Survival Cup 3 and the fun as well. We've got another chance to talk to someone who made one of the most incredible clips of the tournament already. I believe in that game, Lucky Coin, you just mentioned, Tokata. It is Serpius joining us here for our first interview of the day. ¿Cómo estás, Serpius? Buenos días.
Muy bien, muy bien. ¿Y vosotros?
Bien, bien.
Bien, gracias.
I'm gonna let you translate this question for him, Jojo or Takata, whoever feels comfortable. How are you feeling going into day 5? Do you feel like this is the first day that you can actually see yourself now getting to the finals?
Pregunta, ¿cómo te sientes empezando el día 5 y cómo te estás preparando?
Mentalmente es muy complicado porque tienes que ir mentalizándote, como poniéndote el mental de que tengo que ganar, quiero ganar. Tienes que focusearte y no tener mentalidad de perdedor porque eso es lo que te hace que pierdas absolutamente. Así que lo que tienes que hacer básicamente es concentrarte y jugar, nada más, y pásatelo bien también.
So for the broadcast, he's saying that he's just preparing his mental and just playing, staying locked in, of course, which is very, very, I mean, I commend that because that's pretty hard. Serpías, felicidades por llegar al día 5. Te quería preguntar, ¿cómo estás preparando tu mental? Porque deberías tener mucho como pressure, ¿verdad?
Presiona, sí.
Presión, sí.
Básicamente, si te quedas todo el día en casa, yo antes me quedaba mucho en casa, antes de comenzar los Squid Games, entonces lo que tienes que hacer es salir, olvidarte un poco de la competición, porque si estás 24/7 pensando en esta competición, acabas hundido, acabas estresado, pierdes la cabeza. Entonces estoy saliendo un poco de casa más que otros días y estando un poquito más con mis amigos, y ya cuando tengo que estar en la competición ya me pongo a full, pero con las pilas recargadas.
So he said that he has been going outside, going out with friends and actually chilling, doing things besides staying at home all day, as we all typically do, us gamers. So of course he's been doing that, which is very commendable. I don't like to go outside. Good job.
That's fair. I'm on the same boat, Jojo. So I'm gonna ask Serpius how he feels about, if he has any maybe partners or alliances going into the day and how that might change. Pues bueno, Serpias, una pregunta rápida. Quiero saber si tienes igual algunas alianzas o amigos con los que estás jugando, porque, sabes, ya solo faltan 2 días y en pronto tiempo, o sea, igual van a tener que traicionarse.
Va a ser duro, pero realmente tengo unos amigos que más que amigos son familia. Básicamente los traigo desde hace muchos años. Estos amigos son Shadowne, Counter, se integró hace nada Sapnap al Team Mafia, lo llamamos nosotros. Entonces, sí, la verdad es que son esos amigos, básicamente.
Okay, so yeah, Serpius has a few people on his list that are friends. His family, not even friends at this point. So we'll see if that family turns into enemies.
Oh, great to hear from Serpius as well. I mean, and I love the advice on getting out of the house, changing perspectives, and, reminding yourself that this is a game and that there's real life as well to connect it. It's not just about winning when you're here in the game. But of course, we'll see how that transpires. But chat, you already know it's time for a segment presented by Mythwalker, the mobile geolocation fantasy RPG that uses real locations to tell the stories of Earth's myths and legends. It's Myth or Meta, where we present a streamer with a popular myth about streaming and gaming, and they tell us if it is a myth or if it's meta. And chat, you get to weigh into by voting in the poll extension now. Okay, Serpius, I'm going to ask you this question, and for chat, I'm going to ask it in English, and then I'll have my friend Tokata translate it for you. Today's topic is collaboration with other streamers is key to growing a channel.
Alright, entonces para los que no entendieron, estamos haciendo una sección de Mythwalker que se llama Myth o Meta, donde presentamos un streamer con una pregunta y tienen que decir si es un myth, que básicamente es falso, o si es meta, que es verdadero. Entonces, bueno, la pregunta, ¿es clave colaborar con otros streamers para hacer crecer un canal? ¿Myth o meta?
Meta. Yo diría meta. Pero siempre que sea de
Ok,
manera natural.
Ok. Vale, natural. ¿Quieres explicarte un poco más por qué es meta igual?
El meta es juntarte con otros creadores para crecer.
Crecer un canal, sí, exacto.
Porque básicamente si tú compartes una comunidad, o sea, si tú eres una comunidad y te estás con amigos, riéndote, jugando, no sé, un Sky Battle en Minecraft o lo que sea, eso al fin y al cabo lo que hace es generar risas, que la gente se lo pase bien, y al fin y al cabo, pues, las risas es lo que viene la gente buscando, ¿no?
Exacto. So what Serpius is saying is, if you're playing with friends, you're doing sky bases or a bunch of mini games, and you're all having fun playing together, laughing, it causes a good vibe and good emotions that kind of helps everyone grow together. So Serpius said that it's definitely meta.
And, I like that he mentioned having to do it in a natural way. Don't try to fake that. Really build those communities with people that you really like to hang out with. So thank you so much, Serpius. Good luck today. Buena suerte. And we will see you in day 5 and hopefully day 6.
Suerte.
Ciao. Buena suerte.
Besos a todos.
All right. Thank you to Serpius for playing along with Myth or Meta, presented by Mythwalker, with a cast of magical characters, deep quest combat, and progression systems, and a chance to really party with co-op mode. Mythwalker is the global RPG for everyone. Discover more and sign up for the closed beta now at mythwalker.com. And chat, you had a chance to answer the question whether you thought it was myth or meta. Let's see what you had to say. Chat, you guys went 80% meta. I completely agree. I think collaborating with streamers is one of the ways I've seen, even in those Twitch dashboard stats, a new viewership kind of arise and a new relationship arise as you see people become familiar with you because you're already familiar with some of their favorite people to watch. But do it naturally. I like that. Do it naturally. That means a lot. Thanks a lot for Mythwalker for helping break that myth or meta down. All right, guys. Jojo, I thought that was a great answer as well. And obviously, some great questions here in Myth or Meta. This feels like a starter course for getting your stream going.
Crash course.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if anyone in the chat is interested to start streaming, just kind of check out the previous segments as well. But I completely agree. I think collaborating with your friends is such a key part of streaming. I mean, I know personally, even the way that Serpias was talking about it, you have a lot more fun as you're getting to collaborate with your friends, and laughter is sort of what drives a lot of communities. Sort of, that's how you bring people together. And I don't know, I just genuinely feel like getting that laughter and I don't know, it really brings out sort of the humor that the streamer has, and then that's kind of how some communities start forming as well, where people are like, oh, I like this type of humor, so I'm gonna stick around. And it's a lot harder to do that when you're kind of playing by yourself. So I completely agree.
But that's why I love having events like the Survival Cup, where you even mentioned it, Jojo. In previous Survival Cups, you had a lot of streamers, which is, I mean, technically collaborating with each other in this event and having those conversations in the main room and kind of meeting each other and meeting both communities. And a lot of the streamers that hadn't met the other ones, maybe due to, you know, speaking different languages, now we're able to play together. They had fun and they even formed relationships where now they're going into Survival Cup 3, and a lot of them are already friends, both ones that speak English, Spanish, all sorts of languages. So it's great to see that collaboration happen.
Well, chat, you've been learning how to become a streamer here while watching streamers try to figure out how to win the Survival Cup 3. But if you've been following along, you know that now is the time where, chat, you have a chance to guess with Duncan and win big. That's right. Check out the polling widget in the extension, make your predictions, and watch your name shoot up the leaderboard. The top 10 scorers of today will receive $10 Duncan and Twitch gift cards. And the first place winner claims the awesome new co-branded Duncan and TwitchRivals jersey. Enter ! Duncan for the full rules. Cast your prediction now. You know, I feel like Survival Cup 3 has had everything in it, from the drama to the moments, and of course to the content, but we really are missing our Dunkin' Donuts and our Dunkin' Coffee here on broadcast, guys. I don't know, but I have an idea for tomorrow. I'm gonna try to see if I can set up some Dunkin' Donuts here for this segment, because I'm telling you, it's like that early morning time. It's the perfect time for a donut, Jojo. This really is when you would have one.
Well, I hope you're kind of extending the offer here and sending some out to myself and Tocata, right?
I want one too. Come on now, maybe a coffee if you don't mind. A jersey would be pretty cool, but that's just above and beyond.
That's right. Of course, there's so much great swag here. Big shout outs to Duncan for supporting TwitchRivals over these years. You know, Twitch runs on Duncan. That's always been the case, and we'll continue to see that happening here, guys, as we get ready to go. I mean, previewing this next little segment, we're almost at the point where the players are going to jump into that room. And if you guys aren't familiar with it, it means it's time to, in that moment, start learning about what might be in store for today. 2 mini games, that's what we can anticipate. But it's day 5, and I feel like, Tocata, that means kind of anything can happen at this point. We could even see 3 mini games potentially, or maybe an adjustment game plus 2 mini games, which we've seen several of these days.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, 49, 50 players. I'm not sure how much we are at right now, but basically it's too much to be this close to ending the event, right? Only one player will be standing at the end, and I believe that today we will have a lot of players being eliminated. So I don't know. We got to get ready for it. I'm getting a bit of shivers right now because I know that these players are starting to feel the pressure.
I agree, man. I can't wait to see what happens coming up soon. But hey, chat, right now, while you're waiting to watch this amazing gameplay we're teasing for you, our friends at Honda want to give you a chance to play right in chat with 2 super fun games. You know them, you love them. One is a classic memory game where 2 of every image are hidden under the squares. As a team, you'll collectively decide which squares and reveal those 2, and the goal is to match all of the images before the time runs out. Game 2 is a maze. You can see how quickly you can navigate the Honda Prologue SUV through the maze, and you must collect the TwitchRivals V and then find your way back out the other side before time expires. Remember, you have to work together, so good luck and have fun. Our friends at Honda are here to empower you, chat. Honda is bringing you closer to the show than ever before with our Charged Up chat feature. Now, what is that? The best creative commentary from chat and social media will be featured on the show. So join the conversation in chat. Send us your best memes or fire one-liners on social media. You can find us at TwitchRivals or use the hashtag ChargedUpChat, and you might see your comments featured live here on the show. Also, Honda makes an awesome exclusive follower emote just for us on Twitch Rivals that you can use by following /Twitch Rivals and typing TWR Honda to let it fly. Remember, Honda offers a full line of clean, safe, fun, and connected vehicles. Their all-new, fully electric 2024 Prologue SUV features a timeless exterior, a tech-rich cabin, and generous passenger and cargo space. The Prologue is the perfect vehicle for weekend getaways and everyday drives. Thanks again to Honda for shouting us out here at Twitch Rivals and hooking us up with the games midstream. We know Sal Problema loves those games, and we're going to continue to throw those on throughout the rest of the broadcast. 2 days left. So remember, while we're doing all these cool things, that you still have another day to engage with all this stuff for Survival Cup. So while we are getting close to the end, we're not quite done yet, JoJo. Still more fun to be had.
That's right. 2 games per day. So we still got another 2 games before we reach day 6, where we're going to have, I believe we're going to have one more game and then that final 1v1, which I'm getting excited for. But again, we can't get ahead of ourselves. We got to stay locked in. This is day 5. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. I think we even asked Shadoon in a previous interview, kind of, what are you doing to prepare for that 1v1? And he said, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking of this day by day, which honestly, I don't know, Takata, how you would sort of approach the strategizing here, but I think that's a pretty good strategy of kind of keeping yourself locked in these events.
Yeah, I feel like because you don't want to jinx yourself, right? You don't want to over prepare for something that's not confirmed yet. So it's hard to prepare in general for this game mode. As a reminder, you said yourself, it's 2 games per day, but these games aren't announced for the players until minutes, even seconds sometimes, before they actually play them. So they have very little time to kind of prepare and think of a strategy. It's more just in general, get your overall skill set good, whether it be communicating, teamwork, socializing, PvP skills, parkour, movement, all sorts of things you can work on. This Survival Cup has everything in it, so hopefully these players are feeling pretty well-rounded for these last couple days.
You know, I am glad that you brought up Shadoon, though, Jojo, because it strikes me that he mentioned something about his preparation going into today that was different than what I would have anticipated. He expected some type of trivia game. And so for me, he said he was going to watch Play Quiz Trivia for 4 hours. I mean, that sounds like kind of a lot of homework heading into another Survival Cup. When you weigh it against what you could win, and he's already been in the position where he was 1 player away from winning, it feels like Shadoon is not only on an emotional roller coaster, but he's committed to following through in the process, even though he's not getting ahead of himself, but at least putting himself in a position to be prepared each and every day that he jumps in. And that is a huge part, I think, of any competitor, doing what you can, even though you can't control what happens day 6, but doing what you can to be ready for day 5.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Shadoon is preparing by studying for 4 hours. Serpias is going outside and having fun with friends.
Hanging out with his friends, yeah.
there's a different approach from every player, which is why, again, I've mentioned it a million times and I'll mention it again. That's the beauty of Survival Cup. Everyone sort of head on has a different strategy, but the fact that they're all still here in day 5 means that there isn't one solution. There are multiple solutions to get this one answer, but the final day is going to be what defines what that correct solution was.
And it is always interesting to me that there is a final route that is correct. Of all the places you could go, there will be one that was the one that worked out for Survival Cup 3. It may not work out for Survival Cup 4. It may not be the one that worked for Survival Cup 2. But when you look back on Sunday, we will be able to talk to the winner and say, what did you do? Did you go out? Did you study? Did you sleep in? Did you get no sleep? And we'll say that ended up working, and that's why we're crowning you a champion. Super exciting to have that even as a possibility, Tokata. It's kind of a little special to know that somebody's doing it exactly right to be able to be a champion here in this tournament.
Yeah. 100%. I've been thinking about it as well. I mean, in the previous survival cups, that last moment, that last, you know, PvP 1v1, will it be a PvP once again? Will it not? What's it gonna be? All they have are those clues on the wall that they can use to kind of make those theories, but you don't want to kind of over theorize, as we were mentioning earlier.
That's right.
Hannah was kind of thinking about what that rope pulling game could potentially be with the icon they had. It's like, no, maybe it's like a tight rope instead of the classic rope pulling. But sometimes, you know, it just is that first initial idea that you had. Either way, you never really know. So it's all about just being ready for what's to come.
Yeah, we're kind of the overseers of the game too in a little bit, guys. Like, we're talking about this. You know, we know these events right pretty much when the players know the events. We don't know what's going to happen day 6, but in a way, we kind of love leaving that mystery, JoJo, because it is a part of the challenge. You know, even little clues here and there could help somebody somehow. So while we love talking about it and theorizing what it could be, there is this kind of essential line we have to stay in, and even for chat, to keep the mystery alive and also keep things fair.
Yeah, the mystery is part of the drama, I think. And as we've learned throughout the Survival Cup 3 and even Survival Cup 1 and 2, is that this is an entire show, right? We are watching
That's
the
right.
episodes day by day. We're going to see the finale tomorrow. And
That's
of
right.
course, it's not a show unless there's a climax and, you know, there's a little bit of drama. And that's all that we're here for. We love seeing the alliances form. We love seeing some unfortunate alliances fall. And I mean, that's just part of the show. That's how it goes. And I don't know, it all just plays into this theme of drama.
Yeah. And that drama can get a little scary in these final moments. We asked Serpius, you know, what's it looking like in terms of teammates? He said, okay, yeah, I got Shadone on my side. I've got, you know, a few players here that I'm working with, but you never really know if they're gonna betray you or not. Are you gonna be able to work together? When will you have to make that decision? It's quite difficult to know. It's almost impossible to know. And I know you were saying, Jojo, that you might even prefer just to, you know, let go of these alliances before you have to make that choice and just play for yourself.
Yeah, and I actually want to add on that Serpias did mention that his alliance is also people he considers family. So I feel like that's going to sting even more when it comes down to that moment, whether that is going to be today or it's going to be tomorrow. It's inevitably going to happen. And again, another part of the whole show that just adds to the drama, which is the reason that everyone is here today watching and even watching those individual players, wanting to see what the result will be. And ultimately, I know for a fact that everyone's trying to have the most fun they can. But yeah, it just comes down to those $100,000. And I'm gonna put bets now that Shadone is going to pass today because he's been prepping. All right, I'm gonna put that bet down. I don't know if you guys want to, you know, throw out a name, but I'm praying that Shadone makes it through today.
Ooh, you know what? I mean, I'm a man of storylines. I like to see the most epic stories come through. And wouldn't it be something special if Sapnap was also there as well in that final day? And you get a chance to see if we'll get a back-to-back or a repeat winner, or we'll see Shadone overcome what had been, you know, the tip of the iceberg that he couldn't quite climb over these last years. Really exciting stuff there for me. So I'd put Sapnap in the mix as a potential 2-time winner because that would keep that storyline running. What about you, Takata?
Okay, back to back. I respect it, Rain. I'm on your boat as well, Jojo, with Shadone, but I'm going to give another name on top of that. I'd love to see him kind of get that redemption arc from second place to taking home the next year event, which is this third Survival Cup. But I think Luzu is going to make it to the final day. He made it to the final day in Survival Cup 1, and I think he's going to do it once again in Survival Cup 3.
I will say...
Sorry, I just wanted to add on that you mentioned Luzu because we see a lot of names sort of pop up as we sort of spectate throughout these different days, but Luzu's kind of been more in the middle. We've seen a little bit from him, but not too much. And I feel like some of these middle of the pack players are actually going to shine a lot today because that is sort of been their strategy. They haven't been trying to expose themselves of how good of players they are. And I think today we're going to see that outcome really shine through and see, wait a minute, maybe we should have been looking at this person to begin with. And I don't know. I think that's a good shout.
That's a great point. That really, while we kind of talk about what's happened and we fill in the narrative, the players decide the narrative. The ones who step up and make us focus on them are the ones who we have to talk about and discuss. And everyone who's made it into these 49 are part of the big narrative of this game. We had been mentioning, people like Sylvie, who unfortunately didn't make it this time around, who had been a big part of days all the way up until day 4. But now day 5, we're looking at these 49 players with binoculars, and maybe not that, under a microscope as well, to put another visual analogy together for it, because everything that they do is going to impact who wins this game. And the other element that you kind of brought up to me, thinking about family, Jojo, was how there are these alliances, and yet this is so close now to where somebody that you feel passionate about, you competing with, if you go down but they make it, wow, feels like still it could be a win in your books. Okay, guys, make sure you continue to hang out with us as the opening cinematic for today's action begins. Well, I guess tension can
my.
change just like that, huh? And the penguin having a pretty fun day turned into escape for survival. And Jojo Tokata, it feels like that's exactly what these players are going to have to endure right about now.
Yeah, I knew something was gonna go wrong the moment I realized the music was too happy, too upbeat. But I hope that the penguin was able to run away at the end there. Tokata, look at the beds. Are you seeing something?
Oh yeah. I am seeing something very noticeable that we slightly mentioned yesterday, but as the players keep getting eliminated and the days go on, we get less and less bunk beds. As now, we talked about this place looking empty day 2, day 3. Now, in day 5,
Wow.
just 49 players remaining, as there's not many bunk beds left to finish the room.
No, not enough. But I guess it kind of clears up so you're able to see the walls a little bit better. So I guess there's one benefit there. But we see as the players are looking around, this is looking empty. There's a lot of open space. It's a little bit unsettling given that we had 4 times the amount of players just a few days ago. And now we're here, down to the final 49 players.
Yeah, it is tough. As we just saw the cinematic that I think, you know, could potentially be one of the clues that we had on the wall. As
That's
we'll see
right.
if any of the players are going to kind of theorize what this might be.
Yeah, this is actually perfect timing. Seems like maybe we're going to be seeing some sort of fishing game. A little bit scary because in yesterday's closing cinematic, we saw one of the guards get eaten by one of the seals. And the penguin just now was about to also be consumed, which is a little bit scary. So if they're going to have to go fishing, it seems like these players are going to have to be quite careful, as of course we are sort of panning through these different icons on the wall of potential little hints of what the next games will be. It's getting intense.
It definitely is. As we can see what Shadone is thinking right now with his little group huddled up here. Once again, the start of the day vibes are always the highest. Everybody's well rested, had breakfast, and now once again, time to socialize with your friends, allies, even potential enemies that you've been with for the past 5 days.
That's absolutely right. And of course, we get to look at Julia here, who is someone we found out that yesterday is a psychiatrist. I don't know if it's true, but we heard it as they were talking about it. So if that's true, then at least we have our local therapist in the
site.
house. Yeah, at least she's still here, right? Because otherwise, we might be struggling. It seems like she might have gotten stuck on one of the beds here, which is a little silly, but you know, she's laughing about it. That's all that matters.
Maybe she can hide here once the guards come in and, you know, let everybody else play out the mini game.
Oh,
Looks like
she was
she's
able to
found an
get out.
escape path, though.
Oh my goodness.
She's been in good spirits, Julia.
Yeah, absolutely. Can see everyone still smiling. Of course, that's going to slowly change as we go through the games. And it's very interesting to see sort of different circles forming here, because I feel like I'm starting to see some names of players who don't typically sort of interact in these circles, and then they're sort of starting to expand their alliances or maybe just connections that they have. I guess they don't need to sort of be a solidified alliance, but at least getting to know one another to a sort of, I don't know, base level might be enough to have some people think about you positively in case it is necessary for a future game. And Tocata, I'm eyeballing Comanche here. Yesterday we learned something interesting about Comanche, is that right?
That he might be an imposter among us here.
Now, guys, what's up with that?
As he kind of snuck in through the bathroom of the guards' secret tunnel they had.
Yeah,
As right now, they're trying to kind of get some info out of him. What is this fishing mini game? Are the questions that are being asked? And Comanche said, if you think it's going to be the same to, you know, fish with a mouse and a keyboard, he's just playing with the participants, not going to give anything away.
We get to look a little bit into what Serpias is doing, maybe having some conversations with people here. Of course, we had a conversation with Serpias earlier during our interview, so we know that he's been preparing by basically not trying to get too stressed about the games and keeping his mental relaxed by sort of trying to go outside. And we'll see if that ends up paying off, because I feel like the hardest part about Survival Cup at this point isn't so much the skill level, it is the mental. Because the moment you start getting in on your head is when everything starts kind of going downhill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at the left and the players, there's only 2 names on this page. I saw it brought up in the chat as well. Number 1 out on play is still up and going. Serpius as well, who we just spoke with.
Guys, I like a little bit about what Serpius said to interject Tokata, because I'm kind of more that person who I think I feel a little bit closer to him. If I was competing, I would like that change of pace. Get out, you know. To me, I wasn't a crammer in school. Like, I didn't like to overtrain for, you know, a game the next day. I'd get some shots in, but I'd review the book a little bit, but I wouldn't stay up till 4 a.m. You know, that just wasn't my style. So I like kind of relaxing. Like, you've done enough of the work already. You clearly can make it to top 49. Probably can, as a result, win it. There's not many new skills to work hard on, but I don't know. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I remember back in my day when I was still taking exams and all of that, I would study up until like maybe the day before, and then I'd be like, well, everything that I know now is as much as I'll know. I can't learn anymore. And I just committed to that. I said, this is the most I'll ever know about this topic, so I'm good with this.
That's valid. I mean, unless you're Shadone, it could work out. Shadone was saying, okay, there might be a trivia game today based on what was on the wall. I'm just going to study these play quiz, get my general knowledge up. But if it were the case, would it be Minecraft general knowledge, or how this trivia could necessarily work? That's what Shadone's going to have to be thinking based on what he is going to be studying. If he ended up studying, we'll kind of maybe see a clue of that as the games begin.
That is right. I'm also eyeballing Espe here, who we have seen some amazing highlights from her of clutching up on the tower game with being able to sort of build up and ring that bell with a little bit of a reach, of course. But I mean, we saw how the emotion sort of overcame her. And then also in the rope game. And it seems like we are being told that it is time for the players to go into the next room. Everyone's starting to freak out a little bit. It's starting to settle.
I don't think Espe was ready.
No.
He was like, are you kidding me? Already?
I wasn't ready either.
You know, the doorway isn't as clustered this time around. Normally, the first time 200 players running through that door was impressive, but...
Now it just looks like a regular crowd of people going through a door.
Yeah, it does.
Uy, no, uy, no.
You can hear some people are just trying to breathe. Being reminded to follow the guard. Of course, we have seen if you don't follow instructions, that could be detrimental to your game. So I'm sure everyone is following instructions.
As now they've walked into the elevator.
Julia wondering if it's a good time for a potty break.
Gotta make sure the licensed Survival Cup psychiatrist is ready to go. As Sekiam is playing with the guards a little bit. Might not be the best idea. Espe right in front of him.
The guards they seem like they're not particularly too fond of these people in the back line. They're like, come on guys, let's get it together.
Espe trying rebel against the guards potentially. As now the elevator starts approaching the first game room of the day.
is asking some very interesting questions to the guard. It seems like the guard can't even respond. All they can do is sort of nod.
Yes or no?
Muy importante. Si hubiese
Tú haces un huevo ecológico. ¿Los blancos o los que son como más oscuritos?
los blancos, no. Bueno, un huevo
Los blancos son
ecológico
los de Estados Unidos,
es de
¿sabes?
gallinas en libertad, que está, o sea, es más sano.
Little
Tú
groups
comes
being
huevos.
formed. Chats
Negros. Oh, sí, pero porque lo haces
being
en
had.
Acá tengo un pollo.
You know, it's interesting too because these chats that they're having have nothing to do with Survival Cup. They're just kind of making bits here and there, just talking about literally anything and everything except Survival Cup, which I think is very funny.
A ver, ¿los huevos en bolsa o en cartón?
En cartón, ¿cómo que en bolsa?
Jugadores, sigan al personal.
As now, the elevator has reached its destination. Will this be the fishing game everyone's talking about? Will it be something new? Menos 13, we talked to him yesterday. As he's still in the game now in day 5. This is the second to last day of the competition. Anybody, well, not just anybody, someone here today will be taking that grand prize of $100,000. Who it will be, though, I'm not sure. Anybody
Before
can
we
win.
begin,
Everybody is extremely
Take a
skilled
fishing rod from the barrels.
in this current lobby,
Take a seat
as now
on
the
one of
fishing
benches
rods are
located
being
on the
grabbed.
dock.
So this seems to be a little sneak peek of what this minigame is going to be.
Interesting. I'm seeing some movement in the water. We're seeing, oh wow, a lot of movement. So it seems like everyone is going to be in their own little fishing dock here.
Okay.
So
Before
very
we
soon we'll
begin,
find out what the
take a
actual
fishing
game is.
rod
But of
from
course,
the
all the players
barrels.
need to get their fishing
Take a
rods.
seat
Come on,
on one of the
guys.
benches located on the
I
dock.
see, I don't know what they are, but there's something in the water swimming back and forth. So this definitely has to do with the game. As I'm avoid saying, Rubius, you just stole my seat. That's not very gentleman-like of you. And she goes to find another seat. So I didn't get a seat, so that means I just get the pass, right?
Oh, if it were that easy. Seems like she's realizing there's a whole other side to the dock, so now she's heading in that direction.
No había visto que acá. Yo troleando.
Okay.
Me quiero sentar
Fishing
al lado
rod.
de alguien.
Some sort of sea creature down below.
Trying to make friends with the friends around her, which is quite kind.
¿Cómo? Ya. ¿Qué? ¿Y cuál es ese?
Is trying to
Tu chat ya está
guess the
modo-
game.
dice,
Said
no,
something
dice,
about
no,
you
no
have to
está dando la
like
indicación, amigos. Aquí
grab
está
some sort of a
mismo.
chest. There's a mini game that might be similar to this one. Not sure which one you might be talking about.
This will be interesting to see. Of course, we will get the instructions once all of the players have been seated. We can see all of the players lined up. And I'm wondering what the seals have to do with the whole minigame here. If maybe you're trying to catch the seal or... I don't know. They seem to be swimming in sync.
Yeah. Kind of back and forth.
Shadoon kind of sitting by himself there.
Gotta stay locked in, gotta stay focused.
Yeah, you need that peace and quiet.
Maybe that's part of the strategy, just be as loud as possible as everybody's trying to do what they need to in this mini game.
Seems like the guards are making their rounds, making sure everyone is seated, doing their things. And oh, maybe we get a little bit of a show here from the guard.
Is this gonna be part of the mini game? Maybe the guard just start playing us a nice little song.
Nice little tune,
that
I'll
we get
take
to
it.
listen to. Maybe help us focus while we're fishing. Listen to the nice rhythm, the music.
The opening cinematic today had very upbeat music, so I wouldn't be surprised if one of the guards just started jamming out some music and everyone kind of starts getting pumped up.
Yeah, that would be a good way to help the players concentrate. Some nice little tunes in the background. As Espe seems to be continuing with her attempted bribery of the guards, seeing what she can do to get that extra info. As the guard is telling her to maybe focus more on the game.
¿Cómo? Perdón.
Oh, the guard's responding to her.
Sí, de hecho, mi compañera, la presidenta del equipo rival, ha muerto por no jugar y yo, pues bueno, me quedo jugando al Minecraft y he dejado tirada a mi jugador.
What's the combo?
Sí, es una
Seems very unrelated to this, that's for sure. Seems like we walked in halfway through a conversation and we know for sure it was about soccer.
She's worried about a soccer team. As far as they got on the conversation, though. Sedone having a nice little chat with Sprint. Thinking how many players are going to be left after this. Will it be 25? Will it be 30? You know, there's 2 days left. What they were brainstorming.
I mean, I'm gonna assume we're gonna be losing a decent amount today, but I don't think in one game we'd go down to 25. I'd guess maybe 35. That would be sort of my guess here. That would imply we're losing about 14 players, but I don't know.
¿Será para este o será para el siguiente? Si en este no hace falta la flecha, será para el siguiente seguro, porque ya han comunicado que hoy hace falta el teclado QWERTY de toda la vida con teclado numérico y flechas. Por lo tanto, es lógico que sea este juego,
once he finishes. He said, okay, so we have 2 mini games, and all he knows is that today they're going to have to use the keyboard. They're going to have to use their arrows. So he knows that, but he said, is it going to be in this mini game? Is it going to be in the next one? The, you know, maybe trivia memory type mini game is what he was saying. That was the clue on the wall.
That's right. I mean, it's
continues to just think. Yeah.
It's great to sort of bring up how Hannah also assumed something would be happening with the keyboard yesterday. So the fact that he is mentioning, you know, being told to have, you know, make sure that you have a keyboard with all the different letters and whatnot, it seems like it's going to be important either for today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully the game doesn't start now.
That would be really bad timing.
Gotta get some water or something, and all of a sudden the mini game begins. That'd be quite unlucky. Talking to the guard saying, hey, we have to go to the restroom, don't start. Give us a bit. As Autumn plays. Looking quite calm.
Pero tema Ansu Fati complicado, ¿eh? Lo bueno es que tiene 22 años.
Sí, pero está ya...
No, pero no podemos crucificar a alguien con 22 años.
Talking about having to maybe potentially sacrifice someone who's 22.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what conversation we just walked in on, but it's a little concerning.
I think they might be talking about who to betray if it comes down to it in the last moments, and Autumn plays like, no, not the 22-year-old. They're too young to be betrayed. We gotta show some respect.
It's a life lesson.
That's sad, guys.
Nervous.
Ah,
Not
¿sabes
much
lo que
of
debería
conversation
haber
going
practicado?
on, but
Me debería haber metido en el Friday night.
he said he should have practiced some games that have to do with the keyboard, as I believe a lot of these players know that it's going to be used eventually. In what way, though, is what we're wondering.
¿Pero qué le pasa a la prueba, guardia? ¿Esto no va o no va, tío?
No, que va, pero lo que pasa es que un gilipollas se ha desconectado, tío, y no se puede...
Dame el nombre de ese
As
gilipollas.
Autumn Play and Nani are talking with the guard, saying, hey, you know, what are we gonna do when we're gonna start this game? Telling them to calm down and focus up, you know?
You know how someone kind of laughs in an uncomfortable situation just because they're uncomfortable? It's kind of their go-to mechanism to try to manage a situation that's got a lot of layers to it. Well, I don't know. I feel like people are a little bit more talkative than I would have anticipated given the stakes of this game, guys. Do you think there's a little bit of like just trying to keep it social until you have to focus because you know how serious this is?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
we saw Rubius sort of taking a little bit more of a silent approach, how he was just sitting there quietly. Everyone sort of goes into this a little bit differently. Maybe having some conversations with his chat, trying to have a little bit of a strategize conversation in his own head. Meanwhile, other players are just trying to vibe. They're just trying to have a good little laugh. I don't know what the right answer is, but whatever works for the streamer is what matters most.
that's true. That's maybe what works best for Rubius is little humming, little singing.
Y voy a llorar en stream, güey, pinche TikTok viral de 500,000 viewers viendo a su pendeja buscando equipos como imbécil.
Atención, jugadores.
About teammates, as we see now, attention, players, the instructions for the game is about to begin. As we'll get to see a bit about what this might actually be.
Welcome to the 9th game. The game is called Feed the Beast. You must catch fish and feed your beast when it opens its mouth. Make sure you don't leave your beast waiting, or it will get angry. Players who leave their beast hungry for too long will be eliminated. Players who feed their beast in time will pass this phase.
That is quite the brutal way to go. So here we go. We got the special controls. Right-click using the fishing rod to cast the hook. Press the keyboard letters shown on the screen to fill the fishing bar. And then right-click with a fish in your hand to on your beast to feed it. So it seems like there is going to be a layer of kind of staring at your keyboard and trying to click that or press that key as fast as humanly possible. Of course, your beast's hunger is represented by a bar, the same as the fishing bar. Fill the fishing bar as quickly as possible to catch a fish, and your beast's hunger bar will start to decrease whenever it opens its mouth. At that moment, you must feed it. So if the beast has its mouth closed, that bar isn't going to be depleting. But if the mouth is open, you got to lock in and make sure you catch some fish because you have to feed the beast. Of course, that's the name of the game.
Right, and you do have to pay close attention to the keys that are shown on the screen because the more keys you press correctly, the faster you will fill that bar to catch the fish. As you mentioned, though, if the mouth isn't open, then the bar will not decrease, that hunger bar. So, okay, I think it's pretty straightforward. It makes sense.
That's right.
I'm just wondering how many players now will, end up getting eliminated from this. Is it going to be the bars that end up decreasing the fastest, the first ones to fully decrease? Is it going to be who can fill up the bar faster than the other players?
That's right.
We'll
There's a lot of layers to this, but of course, one of my favorite instructions that they always put in these instructions is they always say avoid dying, which is like, okay, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. So of course, avoid leaving your beast without food for too long or you will be eliminated. That is the crucial part of this game.
Ooh.
Beautiful music.
Okay.
I love that.
So skilled.
Nice.
So peaceful, a little too peaceful for what's to come.
I feel like I'm listening to some Gypsy Kings right here.
Smooth.
Wow.
Clean with it.
Wow. With gloves on as well. That's hard.
Comanche, you have skills.
This person's doing as a guard.
Oh, and here we go. We have begun You can see
Let's
there is a
see.
W on his screen, so he needs to make sure he presses the correct key as they come up on the screen.
Ok, tengo un pez, ¿no? ¿Pero esto qué significa en términos de fútbol?
Rubius is saying that
Puedes
what he
pillar
did, which is
varios peces.
spamming the keys that show on the screen, got him a fish, which then he can now feed. Hopefully, he's got to hit you. I don't think he did it in time, so now he's lost a bit of HP
Joder, eso no sabía, tío, eso no lo han avisado,
as he finally feeds.
You can see all the players are slowly but surely figuring it out. Able to catch a fish there. So as you can see, the fish goes into their hotbar, so they have to make sure that they scroll onto that and then click it. But as you can see, Zorman here has an extra fish, so he kind of let the beast sort of get a little bit hungry for extra time, but that granted him an extra fish there.
Yeah, I believe has to be careful though. She's already at half HP, and this is the fish. No extra fish in the inventory, so she is going to have to speed up a little bit here if she wants to be able to feed the beast enough.
That is absolutely right. You can see she is locked in. Even her camera is shaking as she is spamming on her keyboard, making sure she gets ahead of time there so that the beast bar doesn't deplete at all. That was a very, very good play on her. Getting a little bit ahead is going to be crucial here. The bar going down for a split second there, but that's all right. She's able to sort of catch up.
This is difficult from yesterday's rope game of maintaining that stamina, clicking as fast as humanly possible for as long as you can, to now coordinating different keys and even two keys at the same time on your keyboard.
That's right. It seems to be getting harder and harder as we go. It's not just one key now, it's two keys at a time. You can see Carola here already has 2 extra fish as well. So there's no particular danger, but oh my gosh, you can see they are quick with it as they very, very hastily look down. And you see they reset that, but they did it so that the bar, the beast bar, didn't deplete any longer. And of course, Menos 13 here has the bar depleting very quickly.
Has to be careful. Just a quarter of HP left on that beast bar. He needs to get a bit more fish. Having spare fish is crucial, but if you're not fast enough, you're just going to keep on losing that HP. It's not only fast to press the keys, it's also to switch to that fish and instantly feed it to the beast.
We have had a player
has already been eliminated.
172. Oh no, and this bar keeps depleting on Menos 13's screen. You need to be able to go as fast as humanly possible here, clicking 2 keys at a time, maybe potentially 3 at one point. Seems like it switches up pretty quickly now, so it's getting harder and harder. You need to make sure you stay locked in as the beast is coming back right now. You've got the fish ready, instantly clicking it there. There's 3 keys
on the screen now. This is getting increasingly difficult, as trying to manage 3 keys that are constantly changing now cannot be easy. But somehow Menos 13 is doing it. He's got just a sliver of HP left on his beast bar, but it is not going down. He is getting the fish in time to be able to feed the beast, but all it's going to take is a couple seconds of not feeding it, and he could potentially go down.
Oh my gosh. I actually held my breath for a split second there.
This is tense.
This is tense indeed.
Continues to tap here. He is going to get this one in time, but he's got to start putting the fish in his inventory to get ready. Trying to time it, though, for when this beast is going to
We had another elimination, DJ Mario.
4 keys as well.
4. Oh my gosh, yeah, I was just looking straight down. I didn't realize that is a lot of letters to know where they are on your keyboard. I've been using a keyboard for far too many years, and I still don't know where those letters are.
SP, a sliver of HP. It looks like she might have been eliminated here. The beast is no longer going to be hungry, but at what cost?
Going down gracefully with a laugh, of course. 07s for SP. And Rich
Rich as well.
also saying that it was a good time. And yet, there he goes.
I don't
I'm
know
a
if
blitz.
I've seen Menos. Have we seen Menos
Yeah,
yet?
I was
Is he
gonna
still
say,
alive?
I haven't seen Menos Trece go down yet in the
No.
feed.
He's still
I don't know how
alive.
he's still doing
He's still
it.
kicking.
What the?
Completely locked in with just a sliver of HP on the beast, and now there's been a good amount of people eliminated.
He could
He's
have
just
gone
going to
Might even
wait.
be able to clutch this one out as he
Waiting
just
for the
waits
beast.
to
This
feed the
might
beast.
be the right strategy here. You don't want it to catch you off guard, but he definitely could have caught another fish at this
could've,
point. That was a lot of
100%.
time. But if he's able to click it instantly, he doesn't deplete his bar at all, and he's able to get to work on the next one here. Ooh,
that's a
this
good
is
amount.
stressful. And it's
Oh, but
back
the beast
already.
is hungry. That is it.
It's
The
back already.
back. You needed two fish. This might be the end. As the beast eats Menos Trece. So close. Maybe if he kept fishing when he went to feed it, just in the last attempt, it could have been enough. As Luzu also goes down. My prediction for today. 3 more players down. Rubius now is low. Out on play.
Out on.
Might have just got eliminated as well.
As you can see, the red around the screen. Unfortunately,
Wow.
going down. Rubius's bar is getting a little bit low, but he's got
no.
an extra fish,
Oh no.
so he's able to submit it. As long as he's able to stay locked in from here on out, he should be able to continue that momentum and hopefully not get eliminated. But of course, the beast could come back hungry at any moment. But of course, he's able to lock in this fish, which is fantastic.
He is gonna wait though, it seems. This was the mistake that
This was the
Menos Trece
mistake.
made.
I'm
I
just
don't know if it's
realizing
worth it.
the monsters or the beasts in the water are still kind of dragging around the
yeah.
players who have passed. Oh no.
If the beast goes for another quick back around, just like it happened with Menos Trece, I don't know if Rubius is gonna have enough time. It looks like
gonna
he will
need
be
to
able to
lock
pick up a
in.
fish here.
There it is.
Would it be worth it
Fantastic
to go
timing.
for another one?
Once it, oh,
It's
once
hard
it
to
goes
tell,
back,
right?
He could have got another fish. I mean, these are the
Yeah.
decisions that could make the difference, guys.
Make or break, but so far it's worked out for Rubius. What
Oh
a
my
quick
God.
fish. He's just
going.
going.
Keep going.
All that practice from the
He
tug
did
of
that
rope
so fast.
might have paid off.
Oh my gosh, wait, he's got the hang of it now.
Wow.
He really
He
does.
understands.
I don't know if he has the fastest fingers in Survival Cup or how he's doing it.
I mean, he must have after that rope game. Everyone practiced clicking really, really fast.
Wow. Wow. Okay, maybe he doesn't need to do the back-to-back fishes.
Yeah.
As if he's able to secure one that quickly.
Wow,
Also,
I
guys-
mean, that's impressive. Shadun as well, very impressively jitter clicking, making
has
sure that
3.
he immediately gets. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Ooh,
He has
look how many
4
spare fish
extra.
Shadun has.
Yeah, he's doing the strat right, guys. He's getting 2 fish per one.
Wow. 4 extra fish. I bet Shadun could maybe even just stop fishing at this point.
Yeah.
And start feeding little by little. It's the most spare fish I've seen yet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, opens
Oh.
up the chat, but he is going to be able to feed the beast. As a
Only-
lot of these players are very low on their beast bar.
That's right. That was the right call there, sort of committing that fish there. Rubius, wow, he's not even attempting to do another fishing trip here. Even though he has a little bit of an advantage as he has an extra fish. Very interesting. I would use that in case something really bad happens, but seems like... I mean, oh my gosh, there's 5 buttons
Whoa.
now.
Are you kidding me? At this point, you could use a whole hand to hit these keys. As I believe the fish is going to be asking.
Uh-oh.
The beast is going to be asking for food.
Oh!
He's got to keep fishing.
That's where you want a spare one.
Yeah.
The fishing is going to continue. Bar isn't getting filled up as quickly as it was previously. Rubius might be getting a little tired, or is it the 5 keys that are making it so difficult?
Oh my
As
gosh.
once again.
This downtime. I don't know, guys. This is tough, but one gets eliminated. 2 more eliminated.
2. Birdie down over 10 players just on the first half of this mini game.
I'm sure everyone right now is so wondering how many more until the game is over. How many more eliminations? He's just now realizing that he definitely could have been fishing this whole time. But there is the alarm! Passing game 9. Oh my gosh, Julia had 7 fishes!
Are you kidding me?
That is impressive.
Wow. That was incredibly close for Rubius. Some players with a significant amount of spare fishes, some literally with none left in their inventory when that bell rang. But it looks like now with 36 players remaining, that is going to conclude the first minigame of the day.
Wow.
Wow.
The beast was fed here in Survival Cup 3. Minigame 1 eliminates 13 of our 49 players. But storylines of Shadoon, Julia, Rubius, still alive and kicking. They've got one more minigame to go before they can truly celebrate. But that has to be a vote of confidence for them and all of their communities. Welcome back here on camera. Rain Day, JoJo, Solos, and Tokata. Game 1 of day 5 in the books. That was exciting. We'll have reactions and we'll tease game 2 right after this. Survival Cup 3 is back and ready for more action. Day 5 continues with Game 1 already in the books. It was 13 of our 49 players saying goodbye. And, of course, 36 saying we've still got life in this game. Rain Day, Jojo Solis, Tokata here with you all. Twitch Rivals chat, how we doing? Everybody watching, what is up? Hopefully you're as excited as we are because, Jojo, we just got through our first mini game and there were a ton of different strategies on display. I loved watching how each player navigated it because, yeah, there were different ways to feed the beast, clearly.
Yeah, there were some players kind of stacking up on their fish. It seemed like their bars got a little bit hurt by that, but ultimately they were able to get sort of a head start, keeping 1 or 2 or even up to 7 fish in their reserve in case the beast started coming at them a lot quicker. But it seemed like some players were able to sort of figure out how to catch the fish very, very quickly. I'm not sure if it was sort of a combination of timing, how fast you click, or maybe it was just pure speed. I know yesterday we got a lot of practice with that in the rope game, so I don't know, but it was very interesting. It was very fun, and of course, as you mentioned, we did have to say goodbye to a few players there, but that was a fun game.
100%. It was interesting too to see how players like Rubius were waiting just one fish at a time and others were stacking them. I think once you started kind of going for your fish, you couldn't stop. So if the beast asked for food and you were halfway through, you'd start losing it. So it's kind of a little risky to go for extra fish. But in the end, it paid off for a lot of the players.
That is correct. And chat, hopefully you were enjoying it. And hopefully you enjoyed our time with Guessing with Duncan, because right now it is over for today. Check out the Duncan leaderboard to see where you placed. A friendly Twitch Rivals staff will reach out to our top 10 to confirm prizes for those top scorers. Come back for the next Twitch Rivals for your chance to play and win. And remember, that's tomorrow because we have day 6 and our final day of Survival Cup then. And chat, when you want a satisfying meal for just $6, Duncan has just what you need. Try the new $6 meal deal and get medium hot and high or iced coffee and a bacon and egg and cheese sandwich plus a side of hash browns for just $6. You got to take advantage of this offer while it lasts. And we always know Twitch Rivals runs on Duncan. All right. Well, yes, as you were mentioning it, Tokata, there was a little bit of a moment where we had, some stacking up, but also the hesitancy in the getting extra fish. And that kind of felt like it was how you started. If you started and felt comfortable, then you had a little bit of extra time, you started stacking. If you were always kind of under the gun, felt like stacking didn't become a part of your strategy. And it was great to see, though, how players would hit that stride at a certain point in the game, a la Menos 13, who almost clutched up, basically having kind of not done the first part of the game well, but then really figuring out how to master that game towards the end. He just had one slip up, but he could have easily made it to this next round too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the more I think about it, Menos 13, I feel really bad because I feel like we interview someone and then they get eliminated and I'm like, oh gosh, are we the curse? But of course, as we go back into the game, we see we have 36 players remaining, some people having a little bit of conversation. And as you can see, they actually have a countdown at the top of the screen. We're down to 34 seconds until we're instructed on what will be coming up. But wow, I mean, I'm sure a lot of these players learned something from that previous game. As you mentioned, some people kind of conserving their time, others just trying to stack up as much as they can. Learning from that, I'm sure they're going to use that knowledge into whatever the next game may be.
Yeah, all we know is that this room is the transitional phase that we've had in previous days, right before the second game of the day. So, and now just 3 seconds. Maybe the guards will give us a hint of what's to come. Meanwhile, one of the guards looks to have Rubius in a chokehold here. I kind of want to listen in to see what he's telling him. But it seems the guard wasn't even speaking.
It's a silent treatment.
Yeah.
My favorite is when Rubius turns into a cat. That's just by far my favorite scene that we get to see.
Spreen said that was just a little weird, but nothing wrong. Roblay's still in it. Very big member in the Spanish-speaking community.
You love to see it, and you love to see these sort of groups forming as well. Everyone making sure, good job, guys. We did it. We all made it this far. Let's stick together, stick it to the end, because that's what matters at this point. With 36 players remaining, I feel like alliances, sure, they're important, but what's going to build a little bit more is sort of the tension between the different groups that have formed. I'm sure some of these groups are kind of eyeballing other groups and saying, okay, which one of these is stronger, and when will we get the chance to try to maybe get them eliminated, because they don't want to go up against those players.
They do not. I know Counter was jumping around saying, this is all brain now, it's all brain. That's the assumptions he's making from what was on the wall. Thinking maybe a trivia game, something to do with kind of your brain, I guess. So we'll see if Counter is correct with that guess.
That's right. And we know Shadoon has been practicing trivia, so we'll see if that is going to pay off as we get introduced into the next game in just a few minutes here. And of course, yet everyone else is kind of just chilling, having their own conversations about pretty much everything else. I mean, this kind of leans back into the strategy that Sepias was talking about earlier of trying to keep his mental at a stable place by just sort of going out and hanging out with friends. I honestly think that's what happens here when everyone just has these fun little conversations and even taking screenshots here. Everyone's just trying to get their nerves down and just realize we're here with our family, we're here with our friends, we're just trying to have a good time. Of course, until that timer pops up, that's when everyone starts locking in again.
I remember just now Rager Girl was saying it's kind of unsettling to see all these groups, you know, huddled up. Hopefully it doesn't affect this next game, as now it has just been announced that these players must create groups of 2 people. So we'll see which groups end up being created, as they have 3 minutes to do so, and the conversations now are going to start.
The conversations are indeed beginning here. You can see a little group of 3 saying, all right, how are we going to do this? Because, of course,
who goes with who?
Can't evenly split that.
We got an odd number here. It's not looking good. As I see some groups of 2 already being formed. You kind of see them just looking at each other, huddled up.
Puede ser la épica. A ver, voy a preguntar qué opina. Bueno, no sé si ellos, si
As
lo van a hacer.
Marco said, he's going to go around and ask people on their opinions of this, but it seems that the group he's created is with Phyllis so far.
Ok, Perchita, no pasa nada.
¿Eres pro?
Yo soy super pro, soy tryhard de hecho, por eso estoy en el día 5.
¿En serio? Espera.
Es broma.
Julia talking about how she is a pro, and that's why she's here.
Ay, pero esta no estaba tan difícil. Sí, ya le está dando culo, le está dando culo, le está dando.
She said, he was like, what about the last game? She said, oh, it wasn't that hard. It was pretty easy. Just trying to show confidence.
To be fair, she did have 7 extra fish at the end there, so.
That is true.
I guess she's not wrong. She did see it a little bit easy in that regard.
Not at all.
Well, it's always interesting to see. With 1 minute and 30 seconds left, it is time for these players to make their final decisions on their groups. But chat, our friends at State Farm, they also need your help selecting the perfect moment for us to shine a bright light on during today's State Farm Spotlight. Check out the poll now and choose the one you'd like to see us break down later on in the show.
Thank you, Rain.
Let us know as we head back in here. Who, well, if you look at the top of the screen, there's about 55 seconds left until these players solidify their groups of 2.
That's right. And Tocata, I don't know about you, but this does not look like an even group of 2. This looks like a lot more than that.
They might try and rebel here against the guards. Say, you know what? We'll do a group of 6 this time around. That's what we're feeling. I don't think the guards will be too happy with that. Might give them the same punishment that Rubius was getting a moment ago, as they all trying to kind of strategize what this could be, but they're saying,
there's not a lot of time
I have no
left.
idea yet. No idea. There was a brain on the icon on the wall. It could be this, it could be that, is what they're saying, but no solid conclusion so far, and with just 5 seconds left, hopefully they already have their group created.
Here we see one of the groups formed, Churro and Rubius.
Claro, si es cooperativo de inteligencia, yo tengo experiencia de cosas. De algunas
Rubius
cosas
is saying
sort
he's
of-
smart.
Yeah, sort of
He's got
selling himself.
experience.
Guys, I'm smart. I swear.
I swear I'm smart. We can make this work.
Please trust.
Talking about university. He's graduated.
Oh, he's no longer a cat. Let's go.
Wait, Rubius isn't a cat? What the heck?
Surprise.
As it looks like the guards are forcing them into the elevator, and we're gonna make our way. Oh, not even the elevator.
No elevating.
Make our way directly to the second game room, and hopefully here maybe we'll get a bit of a clue of what we are going to be playing.
They're being told, of course, switching players at this point is prohibited. So you have to stay committed to the group that you formed in that previous room. The person you formed a group with cannot be changed up until now. So no regrets. You got to commit to what you made as they're being led over to the next minigame, of course.
Oh.
We're being introduced to episode 5, halfway through it. What a beautiful intro. Game 1 being the intro.
Welcome all
Now we
players
know.
to the 10th game.
Let's see what they have to say here. They've been welcomed,
Players,
and now
before
they
we
get to see a
begin,
bit of the arena.
choose one of the halls and enter with your partner.
Ah.
Okay, so groups of 2 having to jump into a pit here.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you caught that name of the episode,
I did
but
not.
it said something, I believe it was the
Players, before we
power of
begin,
friendship or
choose
something like
one
that.
Okay.
I'm making it up, I don't know. I remember something like that.
Yeah, well, they have to jump into the hole together, is all we know. What could happen in there? I have no idea. But so far, the guards are trying to make sure everybody is in with their group, the 2-player groups. Kind of curious to what, the thoughts from these players are now. What are they considering? What are they thinking about? Are they scared? Are they nervous? Are they happy? As to be honest, not a lot of information has been given yet.
That's right. I mean, it's a pretty ominous setting. Just a circle, not a circle. This is Minecraft. A square of a pit here, and you're kind of just trapped in here with your partner. The ladders have been removed, so once you've jumped in here, there's no way out.
Desearte que ganes antes que me toque con un random y me gane.
No, sí, obvio, obvio. Yo también prefiero que pase alguien.
Just talking that they're happy to be, together as a group here. They wouldn't want the group to be with anyone else.
You love to hear it.
Good vibes.
Yeah, the
from
friendship
players.
stays here.
Yeah. The friendship bond is strong.
Always. I mean, all of these players have been playing alongside each other for the past 4 or 5 days. And of course, depending on what happens here, a lot of these players may be seeing the finale of tomorrow.
As now, attention players, the instructions are about to begin. So let's take a look here at what these groups of 2 are going to have to end up doing as some sort of icons have appeared on the floor.
El juego se llama Memoria. Ustedes deben girar las tarjetas y encontrar los pares. Los turnos tendrán un tiempo límite. Si un jugador no voltea sus tarjetas antes de finalizar el tiempo límite, cederá el turno a su rival. El jugador que haya encontrado la menor cantidad de pares de tarjetas al finalizar el tiempo será eliminado.
Bueno, uno de los dos
Los
tiene
jugadores que encuentren la mayor cantidad de pares de
despide uno de los
tarjetas
dos.
pasan esta fase.
Okay.
So, for anyone who was maybe a little confused there, the instructions were in English. We heard it in Spanish, but the instructions were in English. So let's give you guys a breakdown here. Get more pairs of cards than your opponent. So this is a game of memory. I'm sure a lot of us are pretty familiar with what that looks like. Of course, you have a time limit for each turn. So for each pair of identical cards you find, you will receive 1 point. If you don't flip the cards before your turn ends, your turn will be passed to your opponent. For each pair of identical cards you find, you earn an extra turn. That's actually important there, Tocata, because if you're able to get a momentum of sort of knowing where the cards are, I mean, that could be huge.
That could be crucial to winning this round. As you can see how many cards there actually are looking
That's a lot.
at the ground. It's a very simple game in terms of controls. You just right click the two cards you think are the same, and then hopefully your memory will be on your side to be able to guess or correctly identify which ones were the matching pair. This is gonna be interesting, yeah.
The chat in the TwitchRivals stream has been getting the most practice for this because every day we've been doing the Honda plays, and we've actually had the chance to sort of practice that. But of course, this is a way bigger grid, as you mentioned. You can see actually there is the conversation on the left side of the screen here. Oh, we played memory for 5 days here, so we should win as chat. It's true. It's actually true, Neil. That's a very good point.
Get us in this game. We'll do a
we'll
big
be the
group
pros.
one.
Get Saul in there.
That's true. That would be a scary opponent. Well, yeah, what a surprise. So now these players are actually going to be competing against each other. No more team modes for this round. No more teammates. So hopefully the players are ready for this, as only one of the two players in that box are going to be continuing forwards after this game concludes.
That is right. So the timer has hit 0, which means they are done reading the instructions. They need to understand the rules completely. And now it is time to have that conversation with your partners here of what the next step will be.
Curious to see what Rubius is saying to Churro here. Everything led to this moment. But he said, I'm sorry, though. That $100,000 prize pool is calling my name. And I want to win.
I don't blame either one of them.
So he's saying we play the game normally, and whoever wins takes it home. Let the better player win. As Rubius smiles, the realization kicks in. The timer starts.
15 minutes.
You said it yourself. You can see who has more points. As
oh
we
my
start
gosh.
looking at the icons. Oh, it's so difficult to remember exactly where it was. There's so many rows.
Right. Because not even the cards are numbered or anything, right? All the cards on the back look exactly the same. So you have to keep a mental note of what row and what column you have already flipped and where you saw it.
Those are rows. I think it was 3 from the left on the second row. I don't know if I'm correct or incorrect. Oh, I was actually right by that camera. So there's already been the rows revealed.
Oh.
If they remember.
We did see the scissors at some point as well. I mean, this is hard. And we see, of course, Rubius doesn't get a turn there because Churro had it and gets 2 in a row.
He guesses 2. Rubius has to be careful here. And that small advantage can mean everything.
Absolutely. Once you start getting in a groove here, realizing he keeps flipping the same ones over and over.
As now, I don't know if that was the same bow tie as before. He's looking for the diamond right now. He knows it's around here.
Oh, and the leaf. Seems like that's a different leaf than we were looking at earlier. Of course, now we are tuning into a different pair here. We see Locochon actually discovering one pair there, getting the extra round. But Locochon actually, Locochon is in the lead here with 2 points. Carola with 1 point.
Making use, too, of the third-person camera, right? You saw that, Jojo. To get a good kind of perspective.
Yep, there it is. And then, of course, flipping that one card reminded Carola of where the top hat was. Yeah, this using this third-person view is actually very, very crucial because you start recognizing sort of the location of these cards. As long as you're not turning around. If you turn around, then you might lose that place.
Right. 4 points right now, I believe, for Barca Gamer. In the lead. I forget who he's going up against. I'm trying to see the name there on the screen. It might even be... I don't know the Minecraft skin, but so far, in the lead, it is against Feliz.
Oh, they were able to get that point. Of course, Feliz is still 1 point behind, but with that extra turn, they always have time to get a little bit more intel. Now we look at Rager Girl here as she is behind by 3 points.
This is tough.
It is indeed. Especially once it starts filling up, you sort of begin to start getting a little bit nervous, realizing, things may not be going the way that I like.
Yeah. 3 points behind. The good news is you said it yourself. Once you do get that correct pair, you get instantly another attempt.
That's right. And here is Ernest with their second attempt there after they scored another point. This is who is against Rager Girl, as we were just seeing. So now we're seeing this perspective, and holy, with 8 points, that is a crazy lead.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough for Rager Girl. Making a comeback in this one. It is possible because they do have 11 minutes, a lot of time to work with, but I'm curious to how many people might even just fully complete their boards, as once you continue to get points, I believe it's gonna be a lot faster to fully complete it.
That is right. Spreen is 4 points behind from Goncho here. So, I mean, I'm sure everyone is starting to feel it, although seems like they just scored another point here, which means getting that extra turn, of course, not able to gain that momentum, but just intel is all that matters. Getting a little bit of knowledge is what matters in this memory game, as long as you don't forget. It's in the name of the game.
There's just so many icons. You can see it makes it incredibly difficult. And look at Churro versus Rubius.
That's a 9-point difference right there.
Wow.
Churro really said, I am intelligent.
11 points is the most we've seen so far. He said it himself. Churro is not happy that it has to go this way and they have to face off against each other. But that $100,000 is calling his name, and he is not going to go easy on Rubius.
That's right. We have Shadoon versus Sapnap here. Now, this is reminding me of a little bit of a rivalry from Survival Cup 2. This is a crazy sort of grouping here. Of course, Shadoon 1 point in the lead, but that doesn't clear him just yet because everything could change. There are still 9.5 minutes left in the minigame, but he gets a little bit of momentum getting that beach ball, now seeing a new card. So he's taking advantage of just trying to gain a little bit more knowledge here, as it is once again his turn with a 2-point lead. Julia here, 2-point difference.
Crazy match.
Yeah, right?
If you wonder where the previous match was, number 1 and number 2 in Survival Cup 2 last year. Shadoon ended up getting 2nd place, and now they're going head-to-head before the final game. As the Clash in Titans, we'll see how it ends up. Julia, though, 5-7, just a couple points behind.
That is absolutely right. And giving away that pineapple, of course, that was just unfortunate. But we also saw the sandwich. And of course, they didn't forget. Julia is now 4 points behind she is going to have to do something here in order to confirm a win. But of course, 4-point difference could totally be sort of bridged over in the next 8 minutes, right? There's still a lot of cards on the ground left. Lots of opportunities still.
Julia saying, sorry, chat, it's not looking good, but gonna do what she can. 7-16 with Rager Girl.
That 9-point difference is a little bit scary, and I'm sure Rager Girl is starting to feel the pressure. We see a pair. Maybe she remembers where the other pair was. Unfortunately, it was just a shot in the dark. But Barbecito recognizing where that little chicken was and was able to lock it in. We are now at a 10-point difference, revealing a carrot. Oh, man. We're now looking at Lonche.
Oh, I think this is against Ren Rise, if I'm getting the skin. No, it's Pan.
Soy Pan, yes.
Against Soy Pan. 2 longtime friends going head-to-head now as rivals.
Oh, man. But there's only a 2-point gap there. So, I mean, anything could really happen, right?
Oh, this one's difficult. Yeah, actually, with a little under 7 minutes left. 12-17. This is even comebackable as well, especially in these final moments with that kind of bonus way where you can see if you get a correct pair, you can choose once again, as you can maybe just farm 4 or 5 points in a row as less options are available.
That's right, and I'm personally enjoying the doggy cam on the top right corner. Alleviating the mood a little bit.
Cozy dog taking a nap.
There's an avocado, and of course they're not able to find that pairing. You would think that when there's such little cards left, you'd start remembering, but that's what it comes down to, this memory game.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, the gap keeps getting bigger, and Rubius is that 14 points behind?
Yeah.
Rubius not even participating.
Imagine he makes, I don't know if it's statistically possible for the comeback, but if he gets every single pair, it might just be possible to make it happen.
That's right. Anything could happen in a game of memory. Spreen seems to be 6 points behind here, but there's still a lot of cards to be discovered, which means there's still a lot of potential for coming back. Getting the double car there, hopefully bridging that point gap a little bit.
This is incredibly stressful for Barca Gamer and Feliz.
It's very, very close. They're both doing really well. Of course, at 18 versus 17 points, it really comes down to these final pairings because there's not a lot of options left. You have to remember where the croissant is. And Barca Gamer remembering where all these things are. Does he remember where the snail is? He does.
Oh my gosh! The comeback from 1 point behind.
The double sword. Does he get the double rose?
Significantly in the lead.
He gets the double rose. Does he get the apple tree? Not the apple tree.
Was it 5 in a row almost?
That was about 5 in a row. But of course, Feliz is not giving up easily. Getting 2 in a row with only 3 points to get that lead. I don't think there's enough.
He has to get this right. If Feliz doesn't get this right, Barca could close out the game. Feliz got it right. If he doesn't mess this up, he does. He messes it up. Oh, no, he didn't. He got it. Okay, Feliz closes it out. 23 points exactly.
By 1 point.
I thought he messed it up in the last moment.
And of course, we have another close fight here as well between different. Getting these final ones.
Whoa.
Wow. As he screams that he can't believe it.
To the last seconds of these games. And it looks like Shadone from a year ago in Survival Cup 2 getting his heart broken. The prize taken away from him in second place.
Nice.
Now a whole year to practice and prepare. With just 3 minutes left, significantly in the lead against Sapnap. This could be his moment to close it out.
Right.
And potentially continue on forwards to the end of this race.
Wow, I mean, it is a close fight for a lot of these players. Seems like Julia here is 10 points behind, but not giving up as she gets the Earth here. Maybe she'll be able to find another match. Unfortunately, not. But there's still 3 minutes to go, which means there's still potential of comeback.
Uy, soy pendeja.
Realizing she did the exact same pairing just then.
As Lonche now is 2 points behind Ban. But we saw how things can change in those final moments.
That's absolutely right. Lonche realizing maybe he clocked it. There was the top hat there. And now we see another close fight. Of course, 21 versus 20 points. This comes down to the very final cards to figure out who will get the win. He's not even looking. He's just confident as he's clicking through all of these, realizing he's already in the lead. He can't lose it anymore at this point.
Whoa. The scream of excitement. He gets 5 back-to-back points to close out the match with just a little under 2 minutes left. Pablo taking it home as now Lonche and Ban are very focused.
Such a close fight here. 13 versus 15 with only 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. If you start getting that momentum of gaining points, it could guarantee you getting that win.
The clock's ticking. I'm not quite sure if Lonche and Ban are even going to be able to complete the board in time. They're going to have to step it up here, as boards have already been completed.
That's right. Gaining 1 point here. Finding 2 cards that didn't have a pairing there, but maybe he is cooking up a strategy here, looking for where the next potential pairing will be. We are down to the final minute of the entire game. 13 versus 16 points here. Not able to find that match.
I don't think they're going to be able to clear this board in time. Just 40 seconds left. And it looks like, I don't know if they're going to close it out. This board could potentially be completed in the next 30 seconds. But Spreen is going to have to go on a non-stop back-to-back guessing game here.
That's right. Spreen is only 4 points behind. So if he is able to get a chain of completions here, he might be able to take that dub. But with only 17 seconds left to go, it might be hard. Of course, not able to make that pairing. The enemy gets it instead. And it comes down to 16 points tied here. Wondering if they're both going to die if they're tied.
They stayed at tied points. Did you read a tiebreaker on the instructions?
I did not see a tiebreaker, which means maybe it just comes down to whoever gets the next pairing. Shadoon with 31 points. That is a huge gap. Taking that dub and not even looking back, he said, "You stabbed me once, I'm not gonna let you do it again." I think that's the most amount of points that one individual player has gotten in this minigame.
We have an announcement. The players that have the same amount of points, you are going to do a tiebreaker match.
So it seems like they're going to continue until the next person who discovers a match. And that's how the tiebreaker will work, if I was understanding that correctly. Seems like they don't have the ability to click it just yet. Maybe they're trying to figure out who those people are right now and get that sorted. Oh!
Good luck.
So they're just resetting the entire board, which honestly makes a little bit of sense because they might have come in with previous knowledge
Oh, but I think it reset completely the shapes below them.
That's right. No ability to remember what was there before.
All it's going to take is one tie. We haven't got, or one match. We haven't got duplicate icons yet appearing. It's been different icons each time, which is going to make this significantly more difficult. The watermelon, I'm trying to think if we've seen that.
So the strategy for him right now is just remembering that line, that entire first line, and then I assume he's just gonna go on and try to find that next pairing. Oh, and Soypan locking in that final point as they have to say goodbye to their buddy, Lonche. We see another tiebreaker.
Yeah, Pan didn't even celebrate. He was just half happy, half devastating that he's gonna lose his partner now. But
That's right.
All for a good cause to move on forwards. I like that you mentioned too, the strategy from one of our players was just go through a whole line and then in your head memorize that line, and if one of the duplicates pops up, you will know which one it is. But is that gonna pay off?
That
as with
is
multiple
right.
tiebreakers on the board, it is coming down to the wire.
It comes down to these final cards. Of course, just as a reminder, all these cards were shuffled. So the initial game that they were playing, it's not like those icons are in the same place. It's basically as if they're starting fresh, and it's a race of who can discover the very first pairing.
Oh my gosh, I think he saw it too. They saw two limes. They had messed it up. He knew where it was.
Oh.
Lo siento, lo siento.
And Master Sensei, Ulises, is gonna go down. He said, good game, I'm sorry. And Ulises is telling Master Sensei to win. He said, I'll do it, don't worry. You can see these are friends that were forced to become enemies, not naturally enemies.
That is right. Officially, we have the announcement that all of the players have completed their matches, and of course the winners have the ability to climb out. Meanwhile, the players with the least amount of cards discovered stay behind.
Exit the hole.
As I believe now, everybody's forced to exit, and we will have the players that lost. Well, I guess they will be eliminated now, and we'll see just how quickly that remaining player count at the bottom right will go down.
That is right. And we actually got a little sneak peek there that Churro had 27 points. I think 27 and 31 from Shadoon have been the biggest numbers that we have seen, which it makes me curious to see the statistics on everyone's end to see who actually had the most amount of points there. But it seemed like Shadoon had a big gap there. And what is this going to do?
I have a feeling that the players who lost are going to be unable to leave the little square, the snow cave, or whatever you want to call it, little snow gap that they were forced into. Let's see just how these eliminations happen. 07s for our fallen participants today.
That's a lot of snow.
Julia, Rubius, Sapnap, Lonche, Spreen. So many of our Titans.
All playing such
down.
a fantastic game, and yet 07ing all the way through the end. Salutes all around.
Wow.
At least the music's pretty.
This was a unique way of having these players go head to head. But it looks like memory was the deciding factor.
Almost as if there was never anything there as it gets filled in with snow.
Happy music in the background.
Yeah, it's all very, very
Get
ironic.
suffocated under the snow. It's always unsettling in the Survival Cup when you see a moment that seems too happy to be true. But there is that happiness now for our remaining players.
What does that leave us at? If that was 36 total divided by 2, is that 18? Are we down to 18 players?
That we are. If our math is correct, it should be 18 players.
Wow. I mean, who would have thought? We started with 49 today, and as you can see, everyone is eliminated. In that chat, you can see all of the friends who couldn't make it past day 5. But of course, extremely commendable to even have made it to day 5 because it was a very, very hard competition.
Player 86 eliminated.
And that's just assuming that there's not going to be a nighttime. We have had adjustment games before where players will be eliminated. But
that's true.
So far, we have done the 2 daily mini games, with this one being concluded.
That's
so
right.
I don't think just yet the players are going to be feeling safe, but definitely a little bit of excitement knowing they made it this far.
Absolutely.
22 eliminated. Player 81
You can see
Last
some
conversations.
Yeah, some conversations forming here. Everyone's saying, all right, we did it, guys. Little sad, but I mean, how much more sad is it as you hear the announcer naming every single player that was eliminated?
Rain, we started with 200 players, down to just 18 now. What are you feeling?
Feeling like it is lonely at the top. I think as you see the snow fill in aptly, as you mentioned, falling over the heads of our fallen companions with a little bit of the musical arrangement of what felt like raindrops keep falling on my head. You gotta say that these players certainly made an impact, but it wasn't their story. And that's the special part about Survival Cup 3. It will be one of these players' stories. One of these remaining 18 players will be the ones who are crowned the champion. They will be the ones whose lives are changed forever. Really an incredible moment to be witnessing if you've made it this far. Shadoon, I know that victory for him had to have some special meaning to it. We talked about him climbing his Everest, trying to get to the top of that iceberg. He certainly has at least climbed a personal victory of his, and now trying to see if he can do the whole thing tomorrow. What a call, guys. That was really, really fun. And I mean, one of the more intense games you could have, pitting friends right up against each other to keep moving on in this game.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I mean, Jadon was even saying just now a second ago, well, what cost? At what cost did we win? Taking down a lot of friends, but you said it yourself, right? Jadon taking down the player who took that $100,000 from him in the previous Survival Cup as he got second place, with now potentially reaching the last day. Just 18 players remaining. He's getting closer and closer at another shot at that grand prize.
Certainly feels like we saw a line in the multiverse snap to one direction this time around, and Shadoon will keep on moving. All of those stories and more, but it's time for the State Farm Spotlight, where we shine a bright light on something special from today's action. Chat, earlier in the show, you actually voted, and you selected Rubius Refuses to Fall, clutches win at low HP for this segment, and now it's time to light it up. So let's roll the clip. His feeding strategy, it works.
I remember this because the problem was Rubius was just going one fish at a time. He didn't have the spare fish like a lot of players, and he just had a sliver of that bar left, but he got it done.
It was a finish at the end that would see him into the next game. So an incredible moment from Survival Cup 3 from Rubius. Before we get back to the gameplay, let's shine one more quick spotlight on our friends at State Farm. Whether in-game or in real life, State Farm is on your level. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And with more action, more information, and maybe more deception. Will there be a nighttime? Will there be more mini games? Will we settle with this number of 18 dead to our final day? All to find out after the break. I mean, drama, we've said it from the beginning. This is the first time I think we've really seen it, yesterday and today for sure, as 4 and 5 kicked off in our 6-day extravaganza as a part of the Survival Cup 3 shenanigans. My name's Rain Day, of course, Jojo Solos and Tokata right by me. And this has been one of those games, one of those days that really has shaped up to be exactly what we expected. It has delivered what it was promised to deliver and then some, Jojo, as the drama unfolded and players went head to head, really deciding their fates. And what is a childhood game, a classic game I used to play with my brothers and sisters with wooden blocks that I still remember exactly how they looked, that my mom would set up for us. A memory game that could have potentially been worth $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, all the players were told were to get into groups of 2. They had no idea what they were getting themselves into, whether it was going to be a team game or not. And of course, it ended up being a betrayal that we have been sort of hinting at, or, well, I guess assuming that at some point would happen. And now it's more of a bittersweet moment as it actually is happening. We see a lot of fallen troopers who did so well throughout the event. But that's the name of the game.
Well, you know, it's been such a great showcase of many different players, and some have made a bigger mark on the broadcast than others. And although everyone has contributed so well to their communities, one person that has stood out even from day one in his battle with Ibai, choosing which wardrobe was going to turn golden before and pointing that laughing finger back at him. Of course, I'm speaking about none other than Rubius, who is standing by with us for an interview. He was recently finished off in this game.
Hello?
As he obviously is now spending some time with us. Hey, Rubius, how are you?
I can't hear you guys.
Okay. So
Now,
we'll see if
now I can
Rubius
hear you.
can hear us. Awesome. Hey, Rubius, how are you, man?
Hi, how are you doing?
You know, I'm doing well. We've loved watching you. You've been really funny, energetic. Your community has been excited. So big
Thank you,
shout outs
man.
to you and your community. It's been a lot of fun having you. Obviously, you're no longer a part of the game. And I kind of want to know what's going on through your head right now. How are you feeling having, you know, been through all 5 days of Survival Cup 3? What's going on in your emotions?
Yeah, so right now I'm a little bit tired because of the mini game from yesterday that we had to the rope mini game, and from today the fishing mini game. My arm is hurting really bad when I do this gesture. It's like I can hear it like cracking inside the bones, and yeah, I'm really hurt. But I'm happy because I had like a really wonderful moment in my ending with a guy that was a fan of me since 2012 or 2013. So I'm really proud that one of my fans got the chance to play with me and win me in a match, in a 1v1 match. So I'm really happy.
Wow.
I'm a little bit hurt
Yeah,
too,
no,
but
that's
I'm
incredible.
happy.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, but you know,
Yeah.
you have played an incredible game. We have watched a lot of your perspective, and I'm sure it felt a little bit tough having to go into that game and realize, we are going to be playing against each other and
Yeah.
instead of playing together. So now that you're all done, you know, the weight is off your shoulders. What are you going to do now? Are you going to be tuning in and watching the stream tomorrow and, you know, maybe
for
rooting
sure.
for someone?
I don't know if there's any games left for today. I don't think so, right?
No, we are
No,
done for
that's it.
today.
Okay, so yeah, for sure, I'll be tuning in tomorrow. I'll try to bring some friends to watch the finals like I did last year. And I'll watch them. We'll have a party and let's see who wins. I want my opponent, the one who eliminated me right now, to win. So I'll go 100% with him for tomorrow.
I love it. Look, Rubius, I know you've been a major part in making this event a reality. First of all, felicidades, but I also want to know what you think your favorite moment was for this third Survival Cup so far.
Yeah, the rope game yesterday. Like, I've never felt more manly and with testosterone. How do you say it in English? Like
Testosterone.
Testosterone. Yeah. That moment was amazing with Argentinian people, with Spanish people. We were like a big group, a big piña. I don't know how to say piña in English. Grapefruit.
Pineapple.
Like pineapple.
A big group.
Pineapple. Yeah,
But
sorry. So it was amazing. It felt really good to win yesterday. It was an amazing moment, and I'll remember that for a long time, for sure.
You know, it felt like a football stadium erupting after scoring a big goal at the end of the match.
It was amazing.
That's what it felt like. And I said that yesterday. So it's so great that you guys experienced that too. Well, Rubius, you kind of had, you know, a lot of different ups and downs, but you made a mark. So congratulations on everything you did thus far. We hope to see you watch partying tomorrow, and good luck. I mean, hey, maybe Survival Cup 4, maybe that's yours. Who knows? But we'll see. And thanks for hanging out with us.
We'll see. Thank you, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow.
All right. See you later, my man. Rubius, Jojo, all smiles, although a bit, as you had said, a double-edged sword, seeing somebody take the spot he would have liked, but awesome that it was someone who had been watching Rubius and obviously expressed some sentiment of positivity towards him and what he's done for his career. So Rubius now returning the favor, wishing that he can go on as we get close to jumping back into game. all good things ending well, at least in that side of our Survival Cup.
Yeah, I'm really glad he mentioned that because at the end of the day, that's the beauty of Survival Cup 3. I've been speaking about it literally since day one. The connections and the collaborations that sort of begin from an event like this is such a beautiful thing. You start seeing a lot of English speakers learning Spanish, Spanish speakers learning English, maybe some extra languages in the mix. And it's such a beautiful thing because now we get to see in this scenario where Rubius is, once upon a time fan is now in this position of he is an established streamer himself and got to defeat him in a mini game. I mean, what a full circle moment.
Yeah, what an arc, right? For Churro. Rubio said it himself. He wants him to close it out now and take this event home, but we heard it right as we loaded back into this main room. A lot of the players were saying, we're not even close to being over yet. Even though there's potentially just one day left, this is still just the start. There's a long ways to go till that last player is crowned champion in the final day, and it seems that we will be seeing how the prize has updated after today.
Yep, for every player that is gone and left this game a little darker, extinguishing their light, well, they've maybe left some light at the end of the tunnel for the remaining players in the form of the cash prize, which will grow even higher than it is now, sitting at $75,000.
See, as maybe the leaderboard
Many
will get
congratulations.
Updated. Here we go.
You have all made it through this day. Next, let me announce the prize amount accumulated so far. The scoreboard indicates the number of players remaining and the amount of prize money accumulated so far.
Wow. $91,000 from the eliminations of the players to get us to where we are today. For the remaining 18, you can hear the battle cries, the screams from our final participants of this third Survival Cup.
That is right. With only 18 players remaining, we are about to be seeing some dramatic changes in the mood as we enter day 6 tomorrow.
Well, all of our participants, we want to thank you. $500 each, 182 gone, and only 18 remain. But chat, we also want to thank you for taking a moment to acknowledge our friends at Intel for helping us make so many great memories in 2024 and immortalizing them as part of our Intel Core Memories segments. As the year winds down, it's time to give you the chance to select the core memory of 2024. Now, we've set up a bracket with the best clips from the year, and each show, you're going to vote for which clip moves on, all the way until the finals, where you'll select our very best clip. We've got so many awesome memories to choose from. You've experienced some here, and you've experienced some through all of our Twitch rivals. So each quarterfinal will be a matchup of 3 clips. Vote for your favorite in the poll and the extension. Here's a look at today's nominees.
I got 2 frags. Dude, I'm just like sitting my ass here. Yay, camping.
Please,
oh, big nade here. I'm gonna try again.
I have 1 cell. That's
I got more if you want them.
Big nade, 300 damage. Give me another one. Give me another one. Give me another one.
I got you also.
Oh my god, I just killed all 3. I just killed all 3. No.
I was thinking Christmas tree, so that might have been a. I mean,
Yeah, that's a crazy throw.
Oh, that's a GG.
Come on. Oh my.
Yes.
That's it.
Did not cook.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh my god. Cutie carried that. Jesus.
That was so easy.
Jesus.
Yeah, hard. Nice. You can hit him with your fists on the way in, probably.
No. Let's go! I'm so good! Oh my god!
Well, those were today's nominees for our Intel Core Memory of 2024. Remember, you get to select the defining moment for the entire year of Twitch Rivals. So vote in the poll in the extension now. While you're doing that, check out Intel's Ready to Play event to create a custom PC that empowers your playstyle with Intel Core processors and Intel Arc graphics so you can game, stream, and create at the highest levels. Jojo, Tokata, two great clips that you have been a part of. One I was a part of in terms of casting. Jojo, who do you got? What's your favorite clip for Intel Core Memory quarterfinal #1?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to lean towards the Fortnite clip because I'm not actually too familiar with the other two games. I mean, I know of Apex, I believe that first one was.
Yep.
Second one, have no idea what that is. So I have to lean Fortnite because it's the only thing I recognize. So that's my clip.
That's fair. Look, I'm on JoJo's boat. I was actually casting that moment, so you know it's my boy Noah. I gotta give it to him.
Bias.
I want a little bit of bias. You know, I'll admit it. I'll admit it. You got me. You got me caught, but it's okay. You know, I'm gonna go with it.
You know what? I'm gonna say the Aprizzi Nades. I just had a nice interview with Aprizzi. Great dude. I would really like to see his clip move on because that was a fun Twitch Rivals. I think it was a nice week Twitch Rivals. So shout out to all those guys hanging out and representing the Apex community. But you have the chance to vote. Chat, you are the ones who decided. It's Quick Sort Triumph Sorting Success. You win for Saikuno and Squad to move on to semifinals 1. One of the most interesting parts about that is I actually thought it was a little difficult. Tree going in June or July, yeah, that was tough. Stocking going in December, sure, but Tree, I don't know. I would have thought December as well. Well done, chat. And as your votes are in, and we are excited to announce that clip has moved on, that is your today's Intel Core Memories bracket winner. Tune in to the next Twitch Rivals for the next round as competition for Intel Core Memory of the Year rolls on. Gaming happens with Intel. Always a little bit of fun, guys. That was exciting as well. And Jojo, you got to play Jackbox Party. You never played that one?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've played Jackbox. I don't know which one
that one
has. Yeah, I've never seen it, but now I have to. It's obviously a fan favorite.
It definitely is. But my favorite part as
The
well
lights will go
are
out
those.
in 10, 9.
Oh, I got scared for a second. I got caught because I saw those bottles from the guards.
4.
But it seems that in just 3 seconds,
2,
hopefully, we potentially get our ending cinematic as the players now go to bed and rest for their final day.
What a day. Only one remains. some of the VIPs arriving, maybe? I don't know. It looks like tomorrow, day 6, is shaping up to be a big one, Tokata.
Yeah, it definitely is. It seems, I thought previously we had the Game Master there, but maybe the Game Master hadn't even arrived yet. Something special is going to be happening for our last day of the Survival Cup.
Speaking of special, I just want to remind everyone of what happened in Survival Cup 2 on the final day. There's this very special dinner. So maybe we're going to be seeing some dinner and maybe a theater show that they got to see the last time around as well. Maybe that's what we're prepping for here. It's all just speculation for now.
I love it, guys. Well, as we wrap up the show, it's time for our special version of a Twitch Rivals raid that we call the Raid Launcher. The Raid Launcher will randomly select one channel from all of today's participants who are still live. So keep streaming. Once we have a winner, we'll launch all of you alongside with 25 gifted subs to that lucky streamer's channel. And it's time right now to see who it is. All right, guys, we've got this wrong every single time. It's hard.
This is the one, though.
It's hard, but I feel it too.
I'm going Shadone. I'm going Shadone this time.
I'll go Rubius.
Churro. I'll do 2. Oh, Churro is good.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
So close. You were close, man. Master Sensei, congratulations. Tokata, final thoughts here before day 6.
It's been incredible. I'm excited. Just one day left. You said it yourself, Jojo. Dinner, one winner, $100,000. Everything is on the line for tomorrow.
Jojo?
By this time tomorrow, we are going to have a winner with $100,000 on their hands. And I'm so excited. Let's get to it.
Congratulations to Master Sensei. Thanks to all of our production team as well at Twitch Rivals, all of our participants. A huge shout out to you. But tomorrow, only one will be crowned the champion of Survival Cup 3. My name's Rain Day. Never give up, never stop gaming. We'll see you all then.